If it's happening in New York, New Jersey, or Long Island, hear about it with Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.
We're in Hollywood, our first trip to Hollywood.
Oh, yeah.
We roomed at the Sunset Marquis. This town. You and I just kept walking around. This town. Remember us singing that? We didn't know the words. We were miserable.
Oh, yeah.
And you would walk. I said, Gilbert, you can't walk in Hollywood.
Oh.
You can't walk in Hollywood. And he'd be gone. He'd be gone for like an hour. I said, where is he? I was walking down. No one walks in Hollywood, Gilbert. No, I went into Beverly Hills, this town.
And at night, I'd go to, like, the Improv and the store, and it would be like walking to another state. Yeah.
Oh, and I also remember we were so bored because I think a network brought us out or something. They would put us on these retainers when the networks had ancillary money. Or let me put it this way. They would give the money to the talent as opposed to the executives back then. We had a food fight in the room.
Yes.
Do you remember we had helmets on it? Why do I remember helmets or something?
Yeah, I think they had pots and pans.
Pots and pans!
So we put those on our heads and started throwing stuff at each other.
The network was paying us too much money.
Yes. And what I also remember is Robert Wall was out there at the time, and he knew that they.
I know where you're going. You're going.
And he would say, take me to lunch. The studios pay, and if they don't see that you're spending money, they're not going to give you the money anymore. So you have to spend the money.
He took me, I love you, Robert. So he took me to the most expensive restaurant in town, some Italian joint, I remember. And he goes, you're paying, and it was like way too much money. And I said, why? That's disrespectful. He goes, no, it's in the per diem. No, it's your per diem.
You see, here, let's get a champagne for the table. Or, if you don't spend the money, see, you have to understand how Hollywood works.
It was so funny. I don't even know what we were there for. We were doing a pilot or something? I don't even remember.
Something. I think we were auditioning for a pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember one pilot I think we both auditioned for. It wasn't 21 Jump Street. It was another one called Jump Street.
Oh, wow, the original one.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know. I had to do with a bunch of kids living
Gilly,
in
I have the fondest memories and such love and respect for you. I have to tell you, you're a comic genius, and I don't know how your mind works. You and the late, great Robin Williams, I don't know how you go there, but you're brilliant. But that aside, all I remember is starting out in the Improv, and then Gilly developed this character, like my manager. He was like my fake manager. So we would do these fake gigs, and he would play Murray Abramowitz, the manager, right? You were Murray Abramowitz. I don't know where we got the name from, Murray Abramowitz, the manager, and you. So I showed Gilbert, if you're watching on YouTube and Facebook, and you're listening, I held up my Durasan hand sanitizer.
See, what did I tell you, Joey? Did I say I'd get you into the big time?
Murray, you were right. Hand sanitizer.
And if this works out, well, I could get you into the wet nap.
Wet naps? No, wet ones they won't even think about it. It'll be Durasan. So now I'm going out. We joked about it. I'm out to the Star Trek convention. They go, I need things to sell. You know those conventions?
Yes.
I called my friends Joe Giovanello, my buddy at Durasan, which is I'm a germaphobe. I'm not Howie Mandel, but I'm close. Oh my God. And, so I got this. So we're selling these. We're selling these at the Star Trek convention. Is this great?
This is the kind of stuff. When you're starting out, I would never do that. Yeah.
I don't do commercials. I don't do commercials. Remember that one? You don't do commercials?
Yeah, when you're younger, it's like, Steven Spielberg, I won't work with him.
Is that the truth, though?
And then after that, if they want you to dress up as a chicken and hand out leaflets in the street, you go, okay, all right.
Dude, because now they say, would you appear here, and when you do this, and you go, how could you insult me? How much was that? Yeah, I'll be there. I can be there.
And free chicken? Sure, I'm in.
The first sign of
Lord.
it that is when you do those things where, like, I used to, like, do a job, and I'd be, like, very snarky about it, and go, oh, God, they'd say, like, whatever. Who else is doing it?
Yeah.
And they would say, like, oh, well, the guy used to be Screech on Saved by the Bell. And I would go, oh, yeah, look at him. He's pathetic. And then I would find out that Screech from Saved by the Bell said no to that. I was the one who said yes.
No,
He has his standards already.
Oh, I remember Hudson River Anthology that Robert Wall wrote that you and I were in, that we auditioned at the Pap Theater for.
Oh, my God,
Hudson
yes.
River Anthology. It was actually very funny. Bob did like some kind of parody of New York, whatever it was, and we went to the Pap people, and we got shut down cold. We were from the comedy club. They didn't know from stand-ups back then. Remember that?
Yeah. When we walked out on stage, it was all over with
What
already.
are you doing there, man? You know, I was thinking about, we were talking about the early improv, earlier, 44th and 9th, Hell's Kitchen. I mean, dank and dirty and dark.
It's so weird. It's weird that I used to walk from the improv back to the subway. That was like 6 blocks, and how I wasn't killed.
Yeah.
And then, 'cause
back then.
people don't realize now it's Disneyland.
Yeah, it's so true. What great friend of yours would drive you every day, 2 o'clock in the morning, would drive you from the club to your subway stop on 6th Avenue? And who would sit in the car for hours eating junky donuts from that place across the street on 42nd Street? They probably, remember, we used to just sit and laugh, man.
Yeah.
We used to just laugh. And you were get on the subway, and then we would really literally be like a couple hours just laughing, doing bits. Then we'd take the bits on stage. I don't even want to talk about it on the air. It was so politically incorrect. Paint chips. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that? What was that we used to do? And no one got mad.
Now somebody would be there with their phone.
Yeah. Yep.
They show it on the internet.
Yep.
And you wouldn't have this crappy radio show.
Murray, I'm on the radio. See?
Last week it was only 2 listeners. Today you got 3. It's slowly building.
Patience is a virtue, my friend. Gilbert, so I remember we were at the clubs, and we, again, all night, man, I can't believe how we did that. And remember I had a kid, Joey was born back then, and you guys said, you have a son? Remember you?
Yes.
Couldn't understand that. Now, you have 2 kids now.
Yeah.
Right? Your wife, by the way, is beautiful, man. That is the mystery of show business.
Yeah.
They say that. How did Gilbert Gottfried end up with such a beautiful wife?
And how did one woman have sex with me twice?
It's the answer. We don't know the answer to that, Gilbert. God bless you. So then we go to Saturday Night Live came in. I mean, if you remember, and forgive me if you're listening and you're watching, there's guys that were from the club that were very funny.
Yeah.
Like, I remember a guy named Richard Morris. I can't believe I remember these names.
Yeah.
Very funny guy. They considered him at Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
How did we end up there? How did we? John DeBellis? Was it DeBellis that got us over there? I think it was John DeBellis.
I don't know. It was so weird. And it was the worst time to be on Saturday, because it was kind of like if in the middle of while Friends was on the air, you changed the entire
Right in the middle
cast
of the
and
height.
said,
Yep.
act like nothing happened.
The height of the success.
Yeah.
So we go in. Now, Johnny DeBellis got me over to Gene Domanian. And so I remember I auditioned there. But then I'm trying to think, did we campaign for you to go over there? Because when you went over, you got hired. And all I know is no one wanted to be on the show because you couldn't replace Lorne Michaels.
Yes.
And Gene picked some great talent. By the way. Denny Dillon was great. There was some great talent. Gail Mathias was actually, they were very talented. But unfortunately, it was the wrong time because you couldn't replace a guest.
Yeah.
But I don't know. And you and I have had laughs. We've been in and out. We knew each other. You used to come out to Jersey. Remember we used to hang out in Jersey and do silly, crazy things. Remember we stayed at somebody's somebody's house, and that big moose that was on the wall, and the moose fell down.
And it crashed through like a table or something.
I was house sitting like a small mansion in Inglewood, and I said, "Hey guys, I'm in Inglewood at a mansion.
Yes.
Hey, party!"
It fell and the horn crashed through like a glass table or something.
And we were fixing it. I had to put it back up. We spent the day fixing the table and the moose for crying out loud.
It was really like a case of, oh yes, Mr. Flavin, I'll make sure that everything works according to just the way. Yes, perfect will do.
It's a nice moose. I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh! Only us. And so we would hang and we go, and then somehow we ended up at Saturday Night Live. And you, my friend, who I love dearly, man, I've never seen you just not as unhappy as that time.
Yeah.
You couldn't wait to get out of there.
I gave up in the first 3 minutes.
You just didn't like the whole write the script and then read the script and then do the script. And again, it was an unfortunate situation. You were that miserable, weren't you, though?
Yeah. That was...
It's on SNL live television, man. And man.
It was. And it would be like when in the middle of Beatlemania, if you got 4 other schmucks and said, John, Paul, George, Ringo are gone, and now you got these guys.
I can have a job now, Mr. Person. I can have a job. And then, with due respect, who came on the show last week? Dick Ebersol, who went on to produce it later. But man, I'm thinking about how we were there, but then you went on to become still the comedy icon. And look at you. I'm looking at you. You look the same, by the way. You're not aging. God bless you. But does it bother you when people go, he's a comedy icon, he's Gilbert, he's brilliant, his brilliant mind? You just don't, because I know you hate compliments as well.
Yeah.
As well as life you hate, don't you?
Yeah.
You were always so, in a nice, cute, lovable way, you were just miserable, Gilbert.
Yeah, yes.
It was like, But are you happy now? You got the kids, you got the wife? Too long of a pause, Gil.
Yeah.
It was too long.
Yeah, that's all talked about in the documentary. Yeah. Which you're
Thank you.
in.
Which I missed because, God forbid, I should stop working because I have so many kids. I'll be working until I'll be 100. You think I'm kidding? We'll be 100. Listen, we'll be 100. Where are we?
Yeah.
Gilly.
You were the last time we spoke a few months ago, and
where was I?
Basically, you explained to me that you didn't quite get the concept of, you can go out and get laid all you want. You just don't. You don't have to have a kid with each one. It's not that complicated.
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Don't forget to tip your waitresses. Thank you. You didn't. You mean you could be with a woman and not have a baby with her?
Yes.
This was an anomaly, though. Your pal, old Joe. Ooh. Oh, God.
So how many kids do you have now?
Man, 5.
He wants more.
5.
You want?
He wants more.
Well,
Two
no,
more.
we always joke about it, but I have the most beautiful children in the world. Now, Joey, Joey's he's like a superstar, the kid directing. He's like directing everything that I need done in my career.
Yes.
He's doing for somebody else. Son, Joey, forget about that. Remember that?
He wouldn't waste his time doing this show. You couldn't get him on this show.
I can't book my son. Sorry, Dad. Man, I love you, but I don't think so, Dad. You're the best. And then you met Kimberly, and that worked out well. That worked out well.
Yeah, those, having an affair with the babysitter. How could anything go wrong with that?
It wasn't. She wasn't really the babysitter. At one time she was, but not at the time. But I know you. The guys always kid me here, Gilbert. It's like, and I know you because we've known each other so long. As soon as I go into a relationship, it's like a horror movie. Don't go in the house. Joe, don't go there. What? Is there a problem here? Oh, my Lord. Gilbert, you're the best, man. I love you, man. So, tell me, Stress Factory.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the stress factor. Oh, do you have the information?
Look, Matt just gave it to me.
Look,
Look, yeah, you're so funny. You don't, right? After all these years, right?
yeah.
Girl, so good to see you. I love you, man. You know that. And Gilbert Gottfried is performing this weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Wow, you're doing 3 nights? How many shows you doing, man?
It's I think 1 Thursday, 2 Friday, and 2 Saturday.
Oh, you're doing, and I know you. Once you're on stage and you're in your zone, you have to see Gilbert Gottfried live.
Yeah.
You've got to see this man live. He is a genius. I'm telling you, I know him. We're like brothers, but this online. I'm telling you, you go off. What do you do? Like 2 hours probably now? Dude, they have to give you the light in the back of the room, like at the Improv. Remember the light?
Oh my God! No, it's
Shelley Ackerman opening for you.
Well, that's before she became Cesara Jamil. She had some spiritualists.
I can't do this anymore.
She found like this weird, sleazy.
This was a great singer. Why would she change her name? She was a.
Yeah, she found this guy. He was some weird.
This was the singer that was at the Improv who was great in between all the crazy comics.
And he could tell you what planets were in alignment. And he said that her real name is Cesara Jamil.
From Shelley Ackerman?
Yes. And then if you knew her for 10 years as Shelley, and you said, hey, Shelley, she'd fly into a rage. Because you should know that her name is Cesara Jamil.
Gilbert Gottfried at the Stress Factory, Vinnie Brand's Stress Factory, which is a great club, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, here at 732-545-4242. You could go to online at New Brunswick, stressfactory.com. Stressfactory.com. Or, don't forget about the show that I've never been invited on, Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast online. Hey, at least I'm on the air. Forget, what's this podcast stuff? What is that? What's a podcast? I've got a podcast. I mean, you talk to a phone. You post it. You got a podcast.
It's kind of like a couple of years ago when I first started getting on the internet, which was very successful. People were telling me, start a blog, do a blog.
Yeah.
And I started to do it, and then I realized, 9-year-olds have blogs, and they're just as good, if not better, than the one I have. Oh. So I had to get rid of it. It was awful.
But actually, your podcast is immensely popular. I know Gilbert Gottfried's amazing Colossal podcast online at gilbertpodcast.com. Stress Factory this weekend. Gilbert, I love you, man. I love you. You're welcome here anytime. If you got no place to go.
Don't threaten me, please.
Back in the day, you didn't have a place to stay. You stayed in my car. You came out to the house. We wrecked houses together. You're welcome here at any time. I love you, Gilbert, the one, the only Gilbert Gottfried. Let's go to Debbie, 923 with Joe on the radio. Oh, man, I don't think I can recover from this, Debbie.
I love it.
He's the best. He's the best. I love this guy. Gilbert, give me a hug, Gilly. Gilly and I still chatting with the great Gilbert Gottfried. 927 with Joe on the radio. Love this guy. Unbelievable. What we've been through. Can I tell you about Rawlings? And whether Gilbert's going to destroy me. I think my friend Mike Thompson won't mind at Rawlings. I have Gilbert Gottfried next to me for a Rawlings. You were a base. Remember when we played softball in the Improv?
Oh, my God. Who can forget?
He wouldn't pick up a baseball glove. You know who was a great ball player? Larry David.
Yes.
Larry was a great ball player.
Yeah.
And Jerry could play, too. Jerry Seinfeld could play.
I'm more of a football man myself.
Because you like the contact.
Football and basketball were my games.
Your dunk is sensational. I've never seen
He was Spud Webb before Spud Webb.
You used to sit or be on the side of the sidelines or on the baseball at the field in Central Park. You didn't play one.
No,
ever, not a bat. But you're a New York kid. You were brought up. Were you brought up Avenue A? Were you brought up around there?
No. I was born and raised in Brooklyn.
Right, there you go, Brooklyn. Yeah, and you didn't play stickball or anything like that.
None of that.
You just couldn't stand it.
And I. Also, I remember, to me, Ebbets Field was like this crappy project.
Oh my God!
Yeah, this rundown project that you'd be scared to go into.
Yeah.
That was Ebbets Field.
Not the Dodgers' home that everybody so revered.
Yeah, it's like the idea that was. And
Well-
then years later, I thought, how does it have the same name? And then
You know, so Gilly and I played on the improv softball team, and we had gloves. And what I love about this is that Rawlings Gold gloves are the best. And I host the Rawlings Gold Glove Awards. Don't ask me how I do that. People always go, what we're talking about careers and what move to make. So they say, Joe, you want to host the Rawlings Gold Glove Awards?
Yeah.
And you look over your shoulder like, were you talking to me? And I go, yeah, I do. I put a tuxedo on, and I'm so proud to be there because I'm like a diehard. Yeah, remember me and DeBellis and Larry David and Robert Wall? We would all go to the Yankee games. All the Chris Albrecht. We lived it. You never went once.
no.
You never went once.
Yeah. I mean, I would have gone if they would have said, hey, we'll drive you over and we'll buy you a hot dog. And then I would have said, oh, okay.
Nothing. So I got to tell you about the traditional Heart of the Hide leather gloves. This is a brand new glove from Rawlings. Gilbert, you'd be excited about this. It's the R2G series, ready to go. It's ready to go. Because you've always said to me back in the day when
Is it ready to go?
It is ready to go. And you always said, every time I would hand you a glove when we played in the Broadway show, you would say, Joe, it's not broken in like I like it. Do you remember that conversation?
Yeah, it's not ready to go. I can't use it.
Now, Rawlings has the ready-to-go R2G series. The answer to your quest, Gilbert Gottfried, 25% more factory break-in, game-ready off the shelf, and players can be confident that they're playing with the same quality as the stars they aspire. What more could you ask for, Gilbert?
Yeah.
Really broken in. You got to check out Rawlings.com, the new Heart of the Hide R2G series of glove, in addition to their glove line, the bats, the Gilbert Gottfried helmet. You should name a helmet after you. So when you get heckled, you can just put the helmet on, right? We love Rawlings. My buddies are Rawlings. And this is for you, Mike Thompson, watching at Rawlings and doing the spot with Gilbert Gottfried. And I probably lost the account now, Gilbert. Thank you for that. Check out the new Heart of the Hide R2G series gloves at Rawlings, the mark of a pro. Mitchell Modell, we got to go to Mo's. That's where we can hang after the show. We'll go to Modell's. I'll get you all the Rawlings equipment. Look at all the films. You did Law and Order? You did SVU, Law and Order SVU?
Yeah, I think I did about 2 episodes, and then they called out.
And they never called back again? It's Piscopo with Gilbert Gottfried. And I just, Night Court you did, I'm looking at you. It's amazing what you've done. But what were how many Disney films did you do? You did
Well, I did the original Aladdin.
Yeah, which was great. That's legendary. Was that fun doing something like that?
Yeah. And then I did 2 direct-to-video Aladdins. Return of Jafar and I think Prince of Thieves or something.
But the original that you did, where you play, was the character's name Iago?
Iago.
And that was you. Did you develop that on your own? Did they just say Gilbert, be yourself on that?
Yeah, they let me play around with it.
Yeah.
Which I do anyway.
So it was good.
Sorry,
And
I snuck in a dirty joke there.
No. And what and I couldn't understand either. Now we're so politically correct with everything else,
Oh.
And you're the Aflac guy.
Yeah.
And there you're making $4 or $5 million a year on the Aflac guy.
Why? What have you heard? Did something happen?
You're still going into recording them, aren't you? That's me. Doesn't sound quite like me. The checks haven't been coming in like they used to. Is that? Is it too politically correct now, Gilly? I mean, remember, think of you and I, 2 o'clock in the morning, 44th and 9th. 30 people in the audience. Anything we wanted to say.
Yeah.
Anything.
And now, if you did anything,
Boom.
they'd have
Boom.
their phones out.
They would do
They'd
it.
put it on the internet. That would be it.
And they look for that.
Yeah.
And it's so politically incorrect. I don't know that we could have survived, Gilly. I really don't know in the day, And it's getting too pristine. And with politics, you don't get politically.
No.
Nothing at all, right? You just hate everybody all at once, right?
Yeah.
Is that your agent calling?
Let me just.
It's a job. It's a job. He's got to take the phone call from the agent.
I'll wait.
Mary, my agent. Gilly, I love you, man. And so I have to ask. We're going to go to Outlet News.
See, this is how important your show is to me that I won't even shut off my phone. What? You're going to be washing the carpet at 6? Okay. All right.
Please, all mobile devices, shut off. No, please, not on this show. Not on this show, man. I wonder, did we ever fix that moose that fell, man? Did we fix it?
No. I think we.
And I blamed that on somebody else.
Yeah,
right?
we made up a story of burglar.
It was great.
I remember it was scary when that thing fell.
It was It was an elk. It wasn't a moose. It was like an elk.
Because we all could have been killed. Right?
You know what? You're right, man. And you know what's
Notice the head gets bigger and bigger in this story.
Yeah.
I remember also another time I visited you in Jersey.
Uh-oh.
And
it was like pulling teeth getting you out to Jersey.
Oh,
man.
yes.
Oh my!
Yes.
You just wouldn't go. Where is that? Where is that?
That was
It's across that river, Gilly. It's across that river.
That was going to India. And so you were gonna drive me, back to the train station to get back to New York, and your wife at the time. Which is I can't keep track. Do you have a computer that
I do.
keeps
I have a chart.
track of his wives
It was
and
Nancy.
kids?
It was Nancy. I think it was yeah.
So you had already been drinking. Surprise!
No, what?
Yes.
Back in the day.
And so your wife was driving, and you filled
No.
an empty peanut butter jar
With scotch. Yeah, I remember that.
and you were there in the car.
Hey, Pally.
Drinking like a giant Skippy filled with scotch.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't remember that at all. That was. And people goes, why do you live clean now? They go, why do you clean now? Was that? Where? Why don't I don't remember that? Where? Well, of course I was drinking. How would I remember that?
Well, you had blackouts.
I did not. You're the worst.
The moral of the story is he wasn't driving, which was good.
That's right. Oh, you were too much. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah.
No, I do. Well, all I remember driving at the time was the Ford Fairmont. Do you remember that Ford Fairmont? It was a blue car. It was I couldn't afford to get anything on the car. Jerry Seinfeld said, "Looks like a U.S. postal car. Looks like something from the post office." Remember that? How did we survive, Gilbert? How did we survive, brother? You know. Look at us. You think we'd be here after all these years, right?
No.
Did you think you kind of died?
See,
you got to wash your other car now.
Look
Look at it. Let me see what this called. Look at this. He checks
It's
it.
the same guy.
It's your driver, right?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Well, listen. You have a driver. That's a good thing. You know.
Yes.
Gilbert, I love you, man. Thanks.
Okay.
Come back anytime. You know, and we'll get together soon. Let's
Yes.
get together.
Yes. We'll have lunch.
Come out to the house.
Yes.
You won't come out. You won't come. You're always welcome to come out to the house.
Nobody can find your house. What are you talking about?
You come out to Jersey, you're more than welcome anytime. Gilbert, I love you, man. Thanks. Stress Factory this weekend. Gilbert Gottfried,
Yes.
right? Stress Factory this weekend. You go to stressfactory.com. And it's nice that your career is elevated to the point where you're still playing clubs.
Yes.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, the Stress Factory in New Jersey.
And I'll be opening for him.
Everybody knows this guy. No, everybody knows he can do a radio show. Joe Piscopo. Mornings, 6 to 10 on AM 970. The Answer.